This is the intermediate tutorial for Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. And in this tutorial, we'll cover two-in-ones, the definition of combo, cross-ups, pressing the advantage, meaty attacks, which are also called early attacks, and reversals. Two-in-ones. Two-in-one is a term that means canceling a normal attack into a special attack. Some normal attacks have this property, such as Ryu's low roundhouse, while other normal attacks don't, such as Guile's low forward. That means that Guile can't cancel his low forward into a sonic boom, but he can cancel his stand fierce into a sonic boom, or even into a flash kick if you're good. There isn't really much of a trick to doing a two-in-one. You just do the normal move, and then immediately after it hits or is blocked, you do the special move. Definition of combo. A combo is a series of hits such that if the first hit connects, then the opponent will not be able to block or avoid the rest of the hits. Exploring which combos are possible can be fun, and performing combos lets you do a lot more damage when you have an opening. Here's a few simple combos. And here's some much more difficult combos. Cross-ups. A cross-up is a general term for a jumping attack that puts you just barely on the other side of the opponent. Cross-ups are most effective to do against opponents who are getting up from a knockdown, and they can be really difficult to block. Depending on how deep your cross-up attack is, the opponent might have to block by holding left, or he might have to block by holding right. Cross-ups also give you a good opportunity to do combos. If you hit an opponent with a deep cross-up, you're close enough to combo into other moves. Some characters can set up for a cross-up pretty easily. Here you can see Ryu doing a low roundhouse to knock his opponent down, and then he cancels or two-in-ones that low roundhouse into a short helicopter kick. This puts him at the perfect range to go for a cross-up attack as the enemy gets up. After Bison throws his opponent, he's just at the right distance to go for a cross-up. He can either use the jump roundhouse or jump forward kick to mix up which way the opponent has to block. And as you can see, if he lands that cross-up, he can do a deadly combo. Vega's wall dive can also be very difficult to block if done correctly. If you get hit by it, you get knocked down, and that gives Vega enough time to do another off-the-wall attack and go for another cross-up. Cross-up attacks are like gambling, but in your favor. The chances of you getting hit when you attempt a cross-up are usually pretty low, but if you land a cross-up, you can do big damage. That's high reward for little risk. Pressing the advantage. Pressing the advantage is a general concept in any strategy game, but I want to show some specific situations in Super Turbo that illustrate the advantageous situations. Here's Ryu versus Honda. Now, Ryu is at the perfect distance to throw fireballs over and over at Honda, so that if Honda even tries to jump over them, Ryu can just do a sweep and knock Honda down, and then Honda's right back into that fireball pattern. If you can get into this situation, you need to stay in it and ride it to victory. We've already covered cross-ups, but I want to mention them again as an example of pressing an advantage. Although you're probably better off throwing fireballs at a knockdown Honda to keep him away, as we've just seen, against most characters, you're going to be better pressing the advantage on that knockdown by going for a cross-up. Also, press the advantage on throws when you have it. Here we see Honda, who has Bison knocked down and in the corner. Now, Honda can do his low jab into Ochio throw over and over again, and it's almost impossible for Bison to get out. If he doesn't have a super, the only way he can get out is to do a reversal throw. That's very, very difficult. If you can get into this situation, you should ride it all the way to victory. Don't worry about being cheap or honorable. Just do what's necessary to win, and you'll keep improving. Meaty attacks. Meaty attacks are also known as early attacks, and they're kind of strangely named, but I'll tell you what they mean. A meaty attack is when you time your attack a little early against an opponent who's getting up from a knockdown. This way, the tail end of your attack hits, and you'll be able to recover from your attack just a few frames after the hit so you can perform another attack. So here's an example. If you pick Bison and do Bison's low medium kick, and then try to do his stand roundhouse kick, you're not going to be able to combo that no matter how hard you try. But if you knock down the opponent and you do a meaty low forward kick, so just the tail end of that kick hits. Then you do have time to combo the stand roundhouse, and it's actually not even that difficult. Another example is Ken's slow fireball. Note that if you throw a series of slow fireballs, as you can see here, at an opponent at mid-range, he can jump out of these fireballs pretty easily. But if you throw a meaty slow fireball against a rising opponent, so just the tail end of that fireball hits the opponent as he gets up, then you're able to throw a second slow fireball right away, and the opponent is not able to jump between these fireballs. Reversals. If someone is going to do a meaty attack against you, you need to do a reversal to get out of trouble. A reversal is a move that either hits or becomes invulnerable on the very first frame that it comes out. Example reversal attacks are Ken and Ryu's Dragon Punch, DJ's Up Kick, Honda's Jab Headbutt, and Vega's Flip Kick. If you perform a special or super move on the very first frame after you get up from a knockdown, the game shows you a reversal message and gives you 1,000 points. The fireball is not invulnerable at the start like the Dragon Punch, so if you get up into an enemy attack and do a reversal fireball, that's not going to do any good, but you will still get the message. Also note that throws can be used as reversal attacks, but it can be difficult and it's kind of risky too because you have to be standing to throw unless you're Zangief. If you get up into an enemy attack and throw in the exact frame where you're fully standing, you can throw the enemy. Okay, and that's it for the intermediate section of the tutorial for Super Street Fighter II Turbo.